Community leaders still working hard to get a new regional landfill operational before the current Gering facility reaches full capacity. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, the Gering landfill is projected to be full by September of 2027, and while the city has an application in process to renew the facility's existing state permit, which expires in August, work is progressing methodically towards a regional landfill proposed in Sioux County. Gering City Engineer Andy Folk says a lot of the preliminary work is complete and still shows the site north of Scottsbluff will be an ideal location for such a regional facility, and a draft version of the permit is being worked on. Folk says the project has been complicated somewhat by determining all the financial details.
One, like you say, is the inflation of construction costs. That, of course, the last few years has been very, very high. The other thing that is hurting us right now is most likely we'll have to bond this, and interest rates are not very favorable at the moment either.
Folk says another reason an official permit application for the regional facility has yet to be submitted is that once it's approved, there's a time limit for construction to start, which is also impacted by financing. The public has until June 25th to comment on the renewal permit application for the current facility. And while state officials have already indicated it's likely the application will be approved, those comments will be considered before a final decision is issued by mid-August. Well, the City of Scottsbluff and Prime Metal Products have renegotiated terms and agreements with a prior Economic Development Assistance Agreement. During Monday's Scottsbluff City Council meeting, City Manager Kevin Spencer said this new agreement is intended to act as an amendment and replacement of the initial agreement for funding. Prime Metal's Herb Gibson explained to the council that his company hit some setbacks after a major deal in Texas went south.
Down in Austin, Texas, that didn't go quite what we planned. We were sitting about $600,000 for safety bills, which affected our cash flow. That loss of cash flow affected our residential business, and we started to not fill orders and lost some of that business. So, working closely with Platte Valley Bank.
Gibson said that Prime Metal Products is still going strong and just last week started a new production line of insulated flexible duct and is looking at adding 24 new high-paying jobs in the coming months, and will have a big job at Ellsworth Air Force Base as well. We'll have more news right after this.
Swipe right, swipe left, endlessly searching. Finding the perfect match isn't always perfect, but it can be when it comes to finances. Nora found the perfect business loan. Jenny opened her first savings account. Grammy loves her checking account. We found a match for Wilson Farms. The Sandersons were matched with a mortgage. Regardless of your financial situation, Platte Valley Bank will match you with the perfect solution. Find your match at Platte Valley Bank.
Renewal by Andersen Windows and Patio Doors. The customers say it best, and they feel the difference every day.
Very happy with it. Very, very happy. I don't get tired of looking at them. And it's so nice with the breeze now, opening the windows, the ease of sliding the windows back and forth. Notice that it is warmer in the winter time, and it is cooler when the sun is shining in.
Renewal by Andersen Windows and Patio Doors. The customers say it best. Book your free estimate right now at rbawyoming.com.
Welcome back. A 47-year-old Gering man who was caught with 16 grams of methamphetamine during a Scottsbluff traffic stop last summer has been sentenced to prison. On Tuesday, Rogelio Gould Jr. was sentenced to a total of 8 to 10 years in prison after pleading no contest to a Class 1D felony charge of possession of methamphetamine between 10 and 27 grams. He was also facing additional charges in a separate fentanyl distribution case, but those charges were dismissed in exchange for his plea. Scottsbluff County District Judge Andrew Miller noted that the sentence carries a mandatory minimum of 3 years imprisonment, and Gould Jr. did receive credit for 327 days already served. Well, a 37-year-old Alliance man is facing robbery and other charges stemming from a May altercation on Potash Avenue. Court records say that Zachary Dubray is charged with robbery, terroristic threats, and third-degree assault after robbing a local duo. Police say the victims were attacked by Dubray, who threatened to shoot them with a gun and stole a cell phone, keys, and wallet from the victims. When officers made contact with Dubray, the stolen items were found on his person. He was arraigned on the charges on June 14th in Box Butte County District Court and will be back in court on August 9th for a hearing. And the Rubidoux Rendezvous bike race is this weekend, and the Legacy of the Plains Museum has a display to honor some of our local history pertaining to bicycles. Dave Wolf explains.
Oh my gosh, we got lots of events. So right now we have Sonny's Bike Shop is their 50-year anniversary this year. So we have an exhibit out in our lobby right now that kind of showcases some of the bicycles, both old then also new, that are kind of coming up now.
On Saturday evening, the Legacy of the Plains Museum will be plenty busy as they host the Oregon Trail Wagon Train.
Morrow County Community Hospital and the behavioral health providers are here to help. Amber Dean specializes in mental health care, which includes medication and therapy across a person's lifespan. Melody Lacey helps people deal with a wide range of behavioral problems, from depression and anxiety to child psychiatry. Our dedicated team is committed to you and our community every time. At Morrow County Community Hospital, Bridgeport, Nebraska. Exceptional care right here at home.
Now, sports from the FNBO Sports Desk. FNBO, the great big small bank.
Rain, go away today here on the TV update. That's what local players, coaches, and fans were saying last night as the thunderstorms and rain washed out all the local Diamond action. The Wesco junior-senior doubleheader at home against that Australian select team canceled, but both teams with plenty of action for Wesco on tap for this upcoming weekend. The Zephyrs are at the Alliance Tournament today through Sunday. The Z's opening with Alliance tonight at 7:15, then more pool play games coming up tomorrow and Saturday for the Z's. For the Express, they'll be at the Juniors Tourney in Fort Morgan, Colorado this weekend. Gering Platte Valley Companies, they'll come off their rain out against Chadron last night to play a home doubleheader coming up tomorrow afternoon against Casper. We'll carry those games on KMOR. Pregame at 2:45. First pitch for a twin bill tomorrow for Platte Valley Companies against Casper at 3 o'clock. BNC Steel heading to Chadron this weekend for the Juniors Tournament there. A missed night of action for the Pioneers will actually turn into two more games this weekend against the Australian Select Colts. The two teams played on Tuesday night at Oregon Trail Park Stadium. The Pios come up with a Jacob Lang RBI single in the bottom of the ninth inning to get the 5-4 walk-off victory. So the Aussies will be coming back to Oregon Trail Park Stadium, play the Pioneers this weekend. A Saturday game at 6:35 and then a Sunday first pitch at 4:35. And big news for Husker softball is one of the top players in the nation is transferring home. Papillion native Jordy Ball is a two-time national champion at Oklahoma. She announced that she was transferring back to the state, heading to be a Husker late last week.
Yeah, it was a week of a lot of highs and then also some low feelings, just because it was hard to leave what has been so great the last 2 years as far as just the people and everything. But you come off of winning a national championship and going to Toby Keith's and hanging out with him afterwards, which was pretty cool. But then you have to break it to your teammates and your coaches that you've decided to make the decision to come home. And so that was kind of sad. But once I got home and have started to settle in, unpacking everything finally, it's just started to sink in that, like, this is real. I'm not going to have to leave home again, and I'm going to get to represent it. And so that's just been a feeling of just happiness, relief, joy. I'm just very excited to be here. So a long week, but a good week.
Ball was named a first-team All-American, a National Player of the Year, Top 10 finalist, and the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year in each of her 2 seasons as an Oklahoma Sooner. Big news for Husker softball. That's the latest here at the Sports Desk today.
Culture trumps everything else.
In my years, I've never worked for a company that treats people the way this one does.
It is my passion for agriculture that brought me here in the first place, but not only that, there's a huge family-oriented atmosphere within the 21st Century Equipment.
I love working for 21st. They found something in me that I didn't know in myself. An intern to where I'm at now is such a great opportunity, and that is what this company is about.
Let's take a look at your community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank, where local
and we love our community.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you plan for tomorrow while you enjoy today. Our personalized trust services can help you do just that. You've worked hard to build your legacy, and you want to make sure that gets passed on for generations to come. We offer the professional guidance necessary to ensure that happens according to your wishes. We pride ourselves in being friendly and professional while offering a highly tailored full line of trust and estate planning services to accommodate you. You belong here.
And finally tonight, the second show of Theater West's summer run is set to begin tonight. KNB intern Rebecca White has that story.
Theater West Nebraska is starting their opening weekend performances for The Odd Couple, including shows with both male and female leads. As a repertory theater, they are showcasing 2 plays at alternating times, and instead of choosing 2 completely different plays, they are presenting both the original and female versions of Neil Simon's The Odd Couple. Violet Briggs, who plays Florence Unger in The Female Odd Couple, and Cecily Pigeon in The Odd Couple, shares a little bit on how this came about.
Since Patrick Newell, the artistic director of Theater West, is my colleague at WNCC, so he didn't know the female version existed. I may have been the one who informed him that it existed, and then in discussion with a few other people, I was like, yeah, we could flip-flop them back and forth. And it is a repertory style, because typically a repertory theater will change out the productions and share a set in a way.
The Odd Couple is a comedy focused on a set of roommates that are complete opposites to each other. Briggs and co-lead Carolyn McBurney, who plays Olive Madison in The Female Odd Couple, and Gwendolyn Pigeon in The Odd Couple, shared their favorite part of being in the plays.
We have a lot of fun, I think, together, playing off each other. So that has been a great experience. And the other characters, there are just no bad characters in these plays. They are all hilarious. Mm-hmm. So it's fun to maybe not have quite the responsibility in the second show, but at least you can still be a part of the fun.
Yeah, and they're very different characters too. So it's fun to play them in different ways. Especially for me, Florence is so different than Cecily, and so getting to play with those extremes is always fun.
McBurney says that both plays are different from each other, but says that the original and female version are both worth watching.
I would say if you're familiar maybe with the male version from way back when, you might try the female version just to see how it's different. The theater has made it really easy by offering a discount. If you buy a ticket to one of the shows, you get the ticket to the other version at half price.
Both agree that you should try to make it out to both plays. For more information or to buy tickets, go to the Theater West website. In Scottsbluff, Rebecca White, KNEB.TV News.
Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.